Hello everybody! Have you recently noticed in spring that your favorite peaches or apricots or maybe almond started curling their leaves? They became a little bit red and you might think what's going on. So in this video we are going to talk about what it is and how to prevent it. Let's start. If you see the following symptoms on your peaches, almonds or maybe apricots, then that's a very bad thing and you need to see how you can try to save your tree. Crumpled, thickened and distorted leaves, often red in color. Sometimes in about a couple of weeks, a white bloom of fungal spores develops mostly off the bottom of these leaves. Diseased leaves then fall rapidly and leading to defoliation, loss of leaves and weakening the trees. New leaves may come and they might not be diseased, but they wouldn't be enough to sustain the health of your plant. Shoots and fruits can occasionally be attacked also, but this is mostly disease of leaves. If you see those symptoms, it means that you have so-called peach leaf curl. It's a fungus-caused disease which is very difficult to get rid of. This fungus most often infects peaches and nectarines and also almonds, sometimes also apricots and some ornamental plants. So let's understand how this disease develops so that we can understand how to treat and prevent it. Fungus generally spends summer and winter as asexual spores on the tree, and then the weather become good for them. They start growing and spreading. So if the temperature is between 8 and 16 degrees Celsius and it's raining for a prolonged period of time, 12.5 hours at least, then very high probability that you will get this disease. 8 to 16 degrees Celsius is the temperature when it develops with wet conditions. So if you have rainy, cold weather, for sure you will get this disease. And the worse weather is, the worse it is. So based on this, let's think first how we can prevent it. If you can prevent trees becoming wet from rain, then the disease will not develop. That means that if you have, for example, a small number of peaches, nectarines, apricots or almond, which are very small trees as well, then you can just build a cover for this period. Somewhere from October until mid-May, when the weather becomes above 16 degrees Celsius, when you can remove the cover. The cover should be above the tree, covering it as umbrella or anything else to prevent it from being wet. This is not always possible. So another way you can think of preventing is to cut the young shoots of trees to 2-3 buds. This should prevent your severe forms of diseases, because this is where usually you find the most fungus dormant, waiting for it to be beneficial for it to start growing again. And then the third one is fungicides. Traditionally, copper solutions are used. However, I will never recommend this because copper is not good for you, for your plants and for your garden, and also for our planet. What I do is I use biological fungicides. As with all biological fungicides, which are based on leaf bacteria or fungi, it's not enough just to spray it one time. You have to regularly spray your trees and your leaves. So as always, you should start when the temperature is rising above 8 degrees Celsius and spray every 10 to 14 days if there is no rain. If it's raining, then whatever you spray on your trees, on your leaves, will run off, and you will have to apply another solution of fungicide. So if you have rain, then after every rain you would need to put again the same solution of biological fungicides to prevent spread of your disease. For this particular disease, the most important is treatment of your trees when the air temperature is between 8 to 16 degrees and it's raining. So it's likely that you should start right before your buds starts opening, and then spray every 1-2 weeks if there is no rain, or more often if it rains. Of course, in spring you can have rains every day, so ideally what you would need to do is after every rain you spray again, and then after new rain you spray. It's a lot of work, I understand, but you need to decide for yourself whether you want to see harvest or no. Unfortunately, when this disease develops and leaves fall, it means that leaves doesn't have enough strength. It cannot produce enough food for itself through photosynthesis to produce good harvest. So you may leave yourself without any harvest at all. Maybe it makes sense to start with 1 or 2 trees and have only a couple of trees for which you can pay a lot of attention. Or maybe you like peaches so much that you can have a lot of peaches, a lot of trees, but then you need to be ready that you might not always see harvest if you don't spray it enough, or if you do not protect your orchard from rain during spring. To give you a real life example, if you look at those videos, you will notice that the disease is quite spread. This year I was not able to start the treatment with biological fungicides on time, and it was particularly raining spring. So when the leaves started developing, they were very much red and curled. Immediately once I arrived, I sprayed all my peach trees with a biological fungicide. In this case, I used fungicide based on Bacillus subtilis. And if you look very carefully on the videos, you can see that while the tops of the trees, the tops of the leaves are very often red, if you look a little bit more at the bottom of the leaves, that part which was developing after the spraying, that you see that in many situations that part is green, which means that the fungus was killed and now normal trees, normal leaves started developing. So while it's best to start treatment as early as possible when the temperature is about 8 degrees, it's never too late. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope that you never had, don't have now, and never will have this disease, because it's very dangerous for your future harvest and your trees. Don't forget to subscribe to hear about other diseases and how to treat or prevent them. Bye.